Great live. Ba 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 bum. Ba da ba bum. Ba 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 bum. Mhm. Mhm. Ah, my friends. You're already here. Probably see me doddering away. I didn't even do an intro for this. I hope you can hear me. I hope everybody can see me. If there's any sound issues or picture issues, give me a shout in the chat. I can see already some people are here. Look at this. There's Janine was waiting. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Awesome to have you. Looks like we got Media Bear, otherwise known as Dr. Clown in the house, who will hopefully is going to be very soon coming on to Truth Bomb. Something that I'm really looking forward to because he's a really interesting chap. So I'm really looking forward to that. Ooh, look at all of you. I'm so happy to see you. It's been such a long day. I've spent the past 2 days deep in editing. I've been deep in arguing. I'm not sure if anybody's seen, but there's lots of stuff going on in the world at the moment. I just put out a redux of the Welcome 5 article, which is now just called The Proximal Origin of COVID Control. And it's quite a big one. It's on multiple platforms. It's going to be very good. And I have bought a pink gin to this. So, again, glad to see you all with me. So there you go. There's Dr. Clown saying braced for epic. I hope so. Well, I tell you, it's going to be very interesting. I think you've all seen what the title is today and what we're going to be discussing. And this is something no one else has done so far. I love a bit of that. We've got Liam, of course, saying, love you, Fran. This is what I need. This is needed today. And it's good because it is Bank Holiday Sunday, the hardest time, this wonderful wild Heather, who's so wonderful to me and so lovely to me, and I thank you very much. And her and little Carol are in the tower. I've seen the tower with my very eyes. Hello, lovely friends. Happy Easter, one and all, says little Carol. Always happy. You're just, you're just so happy that you're with me too, and happy Easter to everybody. This is why I bought a drink with me on this occasion. I actually never drink on the show, but can anybody guess what I'm drinking? Except for maybe the people who know me very well. No, go on. Anybody can guess to what I'm drinking. It's brilliant. Someone who I love is here, of course, another man that I've had the pleasure to meet, Joel Allen. And I've asked Joel, and I'm going to ask DC and maybe a couple others if they want to be involved in a special Truth Bomb tomorrow night. I'm going to do a special kind of live Easter Truth Bomb for the people who've been watching Truth Bomb. Most people would tune in over the past 8 weeks. We've been putting out a truth bomb every week. Truth bomb, if you don't know it, is the independent media quiz with a difference, where I put two people from the independent media against each other. AI sets the official narrative, and it's their job to set the story straight, which is exactly what needs to happen. So normally I'd be there doing that right now, but we don't have another one planned up until this week, recording this week. It's quite hard to get two very busy independent media people in the same room. But of course, it was my dad's funeral recently, so I've been a little bit busy with other stuff. Runaway Slav says table flipping holiday. Happy holiday to you. DN sending prayers. Love it. Love it. Look who it is. Nice hair, says Templar. Thank you very much. Little Cowl is also saying, looking fabulous with your hair down, you. And there you go. Love your brother A. Really nice to see you. As you've only got one letter in your name, it makes it really hard to reply for you when I'm just in the chat, because it doesn't come up. I don't know how to actually respond to you. It doesn't let me. It says at A, and then you have to put in another letter for it to come up. So I never know what to do anyway. And look, Runaway Slav knows me too very well. But which color is this gin? It doesn't look very colorful, but if you get closer, You can see it's pink. Yes, pink chin, of course. Mm. DC, another man that I love. So happy to see you here, DC. I would love it if you go against Joel Allen tomorrow. Yeah, Joel is under there saying, "Hey, DC." I'd love it if you two go up. You don't. We don't have to do a proper full on truth bomb tomorrow. It is going to be a fun Easter special. It's a let your hair down weekend. But to be perfectly honest, I've had my hair down for a month now, and I've been enjoying it. So, oh, look at you. Tim Hinchcliffe. Love you. Love you. Really glad to see you. Here's a man who's a winner, a previous winner of Truth Bomb. Only just, if it wasn't for all of that corruption, he would have lost. But that corruption and nationalism too. The God Save the King comment is a thing that scuppered Dan Fournier. Everybody's in the house. Lovely to see everybody here. Ah, well-mannered Ted. Everybody knows who well-mannered Ted is, but do you? Yes, I don't know. I don't know if you know. I know. I know. And there's someone I talked to earlier today, Teresa. It's lovely to see you. It was beautiful to talk to you. Brilliant. We have some lovely conversations there. And then we got Groove Dodger. Ah, wow. You looking like Jesus risen. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just a long hair. But I do like the Jesus look, to be honest. Sorry about your father, says Kate. Hey. It was a beautiful send off. My dad was a very colorful individual, an extremely interesting man, a man that the more and more I learn about him, because unfortunately he did hide a little bit. He did, I'll tell you. He said, my auntie told me, she's spilling all the beans now, my auntie. She said when he was alive, he made it very clear that he wasn't to tell him anything about what he was like when he was younger, and so she's kept to that. Now all the beans are being spilt, and it's fantastic stuff coming out. My dad was quite a guy who already knew that. Yeah, and yes, indeed, the gin is newspaste pink. Indeed, it is not Parma Violet this time. Wild Heather, no, indeed. And we're here for something special. Look at you. I'm glad to see you all here. I'm glad to see everybody here. This is a very interesting to see. We've got roughly 180 something people watching now across platforms, which is really good. And we are in for a special treat today. Yes, for those who saw the actual message and the actual comments that that I made on this. This is Epstein's family tree. Something which I thought today would be a good day to go through Epstein's family tree. I don't know why today would make such a good day in particular, but I mean, it is Easter. Why not? I mean, it's not like, it's not like Epstein was a Jew or anything. He celebrated Easter too, didn't he? Oh no, we might find out that actually Epstein had some Jewish roots. Would you believe? Who knows? Well, I did this. What I'm going to do is this is going to be an easygoing Easter show. Anybody has any questions, please duck in. Just before we do, oh, there's Lovely. Hello, Lovely. Hello. Just before we do, looking very Civil Warish today, Johnny Vedmore. Yes, indeed. This would have been my permanent look in the sealed knot, and I would have made it up the ranks. If you got long hair and an unkempt beard, you make it up the ranks in the 17th century. I tell you that. Well, today we're going to look at Epstein's family tree. But beforehand, remember, if you have any questions about anything that's going on at the moment, this is a Johnny Vedmore Live. We're going to do a load of stuff. We're going to talk about a load of stuff. So there's different stuff happening. I will make a couple of comments beforehand about things that are going on. Just in between drinking a little smoke here and there. So I just released a proximal origin redux, partially because the White House has released a paper admitting that the proximal origin paper was faked and showing some evidence that we already knew, but not all of the rest of the evidence. I didn't have the proximal origin article out on every platform. So I spent a bit of time putting it out. If you want to go read it, you can read it on newspace.com, of course. You can read it on my Substack, newspace.substack.com, or just by typing in Johnny Vedmore Substack on Substack. You can read it on Twitter as well. And I'm sure it's probably up on something else as well. My brain is short fried today. It's a very long article. It's 15,000 words. It's got a read through. It's got other things. It's got lots of content in with it, including Jeremy Farrar's family history. Everybody knows I like my family history. I like to go through family history. And I've actually got a couple more family histories to complete for people who have commissioned me to do their family history. On the one I think I've gone through about 1,800, 2,000 members of their family so far. And I gotta just do the other half. It's very hard. Sometimes you hit a fork in the road, maybe you could say. It's family history, so it makes sense, but you hit a dead end really on sometimes, and sometimes you have to spend a bit of time and get a bit of luck to go further. But I got two, and I got Mercurius as well. If any of you know Mercurius, she's definitely one who's got an interesting family history, and I'm going through her family history. But I was also doing Jeffrey Epstein's in the background. I've also nearly completed RFK Jr.'s family history. That's a very interesting one too, because everybody knows that he comes from Irish ancestry on the one hand, where you got the Kennedys, etc., and you can follow that back quite far. There's a lot of roots. And the other side, not so much Irish, of course. His mother, you go back through the Prussian roots, etc. So that's very interesting as well. Love a little bit of this. And what's this? What's this? We got Joel Allen say 80 songs next. Yeah, does look like I'm going to sing an 80s song with my hair down. And are we saying Epstein resurrected? Dun, dun, dun. No, not me, not me. What? But no. On Easter, no. Hopefully, Epstein stays in the bloody ground. I know there's some people. There are some people. I don't know the birth time of Jeffrey Epstein. I know his birth date, but I don't know his birth time. His birth date is 20th of January 1953. So I'm not sure apart from that. I think, what would that make him, an Aquarius maybe? But little Carol likes a little bit of that. I just say again, let's grill. Hello, how are you? Glad to see you here. We got about 273 people joining us right now. That's really good. The other thing that's going on at the moment is a little bit of an argument going on, a little bit of a tit for tat. Everybody knows that I've been arguing with Ian Carroll for a little bit of time about I'm arguing about the fact he claims to report on Epstein's stuff objectively, and he hasn't even mentioned the Epstein Musk article in over 6 months. And in that time, he's like ignored me completely, and then said, when I've complained at the end, "Oh, I thought we were friends." And I don't see it like that. I see it as being an objective journalist. It's a shame that he can't report on Epstein's link with Elon Musk. He can report on everything else with Epstein. He can't report on RFK Jr. or Epstein's relationships with Elon Musk, which seems a little suspicious. And then he brought on Nick Bryant onto his podcast, and along with Ryan Dawson as well. Me and Ryan Dawson, we're already. I'm not a fan of Ryan Dawson. I have had experiences with him. I've also seen a load of stuff behind the scenes, and of course, everybody knows it. My ex used to have a thing with him as well. And it's because Ryan Dawson bumps head with everybody in the indie media. But I find him extremely suspicious because he only reports on certain things. He only reports on anything that's not to do with the CIA. And I always say the same complaint about Ian Carroll reporting on the Epstein case. It's everything but the CIA's connections, and there's loads of them. And then they did this Ian Carroll, Ryan Dawson, and Nick Bryant thing. Was Epstein Mossad or CIA suddenly, after I giving them pressure for ages to talk about CIA? And guess what? They're going to come to the conclusion that he was all Mossad, even though that he was working for the CIA before he was working for Mossad. So it's a load of bit confusing nonsense. But there is a tit for tat at the moment, again, going with now Nick Bryant. That's partially because Nick Bryant once, about a year and a half ago, emailed me out of the blue. I'd never talked to him before. He'd never talked to me. And he said, "Hey, you, I'll do a Nick Bryant impression maybe. Hey, I got a load of information for you on the Pottinger stuff and David Bowie, and I'd love to give it to you." And so we went backwards and forwards of emails until we finally got the right time. He said, "Oh, I'll only need half an hour." And I was hoping he wasn't going to try and sell one person in particular to me. On my life, for about 6, 7 months, 8 months before, had been made awkward by the fact that one of the supposed, I say supposed with quotation marks, Epstein victims, Maria Farmer, who I had caught, had tried to seed the same person, a certain person. I don't want to say his name out loud because I just don't want to give him air. He's got 8 different identities anyway, so which name would I choose? He was in prison for about 10 years for different fraud convictions. One of them being running what was basically a minor blackmail operation where they got youngish girls in. They took pictures that were a bit risque and then threatened to show people if they didn't give them money. So it's not a very nice man, this guy. And Maria Farmer tried to get him on the Unlimited Hangout podcast. Whitney asked me to check him out. I discovered he was a fraudster. Told Maria, thought she would be happy, but instead Maria Farmer turned on me, started saying awful things, and then for some reason, one of Prince Andrew's best mates, Victoria Hervey, came out of the blue, contacted me via Instagram, and said, "Hey, I've got this guy who can help you. He can help you with all this information," and tried to give me the same guy in, and I was like, "Well, he's a fraudster, blah de blah." And then eventually Nick Bryant contacted me. And I was like saying to my friend, just before I was speaking to him, I was saying, I hope he's not going to try and seed in this guy again. I hope he's not going to say the same thing. But he did. He come out and he was like, "Hey, Johnny, I got someone great for you. Now, hear me out a second. It's someone who's really good and he can help with this whole case." And then he said his name. And I was just like, "Nick, you should be ashamed of yourself. You know, he's not going to report on this guy." So I know it's an operation at that point because I know that Nick Bryant is not going to report on this guy. Lady Victoria Hervey was not talking about this guy much out loud. Maria Farmer stopped talking. They tried to get me to talk about a fraudster like I'm going to do that. And like I'm going to say, "Oh, his story is true," and ruin my career or and that's what the whole point is. The point is, and one of the worst things, a lot of people, someone said to me earlier, "But why would Nick Bryant? He was the one who wrote the Franklin scandal. I don't understand." But this is what the CIA do. Okay, so the CIA do things that are operations. They all go wrong. They all go awry. And eventually, what they have to do is cover things up. So they get a guy in to write the story. And that's what happens every single time. So the person who's writing the story, be very suspicious of. Like I'm suspicious of Seymour Hersh. I know loads of people are like, "Oh, Seymour Hersh must be a hero." But Seymour Hersh is definitely not a hero in my book because he seeded in a load of stuff during that whole Nord Stream pipe bombing. He was the one who came out with a narrative that was the official narrative that wasn't correct. And it made me go, so I suppose Samson option's probably a load of bollocks as well. And it was just an extension of mutually assured destruction. Anyway, that means I'm having a public spat with Nick Bryant, who is he's gone the narcissistic route, which is to accuse someone of being a narcissist as the first port to call. That's something if you study about empaths and narcissists, what you discover is that the one of the first signs of a narcissist is that they'll accuse someone of being a narcissist. And that's this first thing they've done. I've only ever talked to Nick Bryant because he contacted me to try and make me report on a fraudster, and I told him off for it. And so now he's making a big thing about it. So, of course, some of you might see some of that. Okay, right, let's get on with thing. There's a little bit of a "Don't you want me, baby?" What exactly is egg-shaped? Just the head. We all know what they're talking about. Hello, Keefe Brinson. It's very nice to see you. Yes, of course. It was asked. I think, that was asked when it was in court. One of the lawyers asked Epstein in a video deposition, which I think was purposely video. But this was the reason why they said this, and they had it stopped because they didn't want it videoed. So they had the lawyer go up and say, "Is it true, Mr. Epstein, that you have an egg-shaped penis?" And he went, "Ugh," and then they stopped. He said, "Oh, don't ask that again." The judge said, "Don't ask that again," and he asked it again anyway, and the proceedings stopped. And I think that was what it was meant to be. There's Rosworth. Hello. But maybe he did have a really big egg-shaped penis or a lumpy one. I don't know. He's a bit silly. Never heard of any of these people. Yeah, well, good. DC, you're in a good world, but most people have. Katie, hello, Katie. She says, he steals people's stuff in my mind, plus seems to support the powers that be, Ian Carroll. Yeah, what he does is they're gatekeepers. It's classic gatekeeping 101. So it's like all of the information goes through people like Ian Carroll, and all of they advertised out loud this, they're put as the main people to listen to, so that when I come out with information about Elon Musk's association with Jeffrey Epstein, they've gotten control of the gate and it doesn't get out, and so he doesn't say anything. So he's proving from that what he is as a gatekeeper. Ryan Dawson's also a very weird snitchy person. There's a lot of weird stuff. Anthony, hello. Bloody love you, Johnny. If only all report. You are so lovely. Thank you for being lovely. I appreciate the support, and I have moral support. One day, maybe I'll be able to earn some money out of this and not be so precariously skint all the time and actually make a living out of it. But at the moment, in the censored world, that's not happening. So I'm just going to have to keep bobbling along. So what you see is what you get, and what you get is me. Unfortunately for some. Little Carol says Ryan Dawson is got a problem with his eyes. Apparently, he's going blind rapidly. Oh well, that's some that gives me some sort of solace, I suppose. I'm not sure. Leave the swamp dwellers in the swamp, Johnny. Leave the trash in the gutter. It's a good line that you're coming up. Beatles manager. Okay, you're gonna have to explain Beatles manager. Especially. Yes, CIA first, but Mossad next, together around the same time about Epstein. Yeah, well, it's complicated. I know there's Zionists tried to compromise you, yeah. So with Epstein and his relationship with the CIA, recently they've had to try their best to make it sound like Epstein is all Mossad. And then when that started to fade off, when people have started to work out, but wait a minute, there's other things, then other people have come out and said other things. So Ian Carroll was corrected by my ex, Whitney Webb, who said that basically she said that Epstein, she tried to clarify that Epstein in the mid 80s, about 84, 85, she says he wasn't recruited by Mossad, he was recruited by Israeli military intelligence. But I don't completely believe that either, because he was working between 1980 and 1984 with the guy who was arranging Iran-Contra, and he was part of the funding stream, and that was all CIA. I mean, you could see through the documents. I know there were some parts over there that were Israeli, but this was actually being organized by the CIA's top man, Stanley Pottinger, who had been responsible for so many things. Epstein and Pottinger shared an office. Pottinger admitted this. Pottinger eventually becomes Epstein victim's lawyer and stands supposedly on the opposite side, but no one knows that they actually helped organize Iran-Contra together. Rosworth says Atwood's blocked me, mate. I have never talked to Sean Atwood. He's just blocked me straight away because he's Ryan Dawson's mate. And anyway, he knows what's coming. He knows what's coming. Yes, that is the point. If Epstein was born on the 20th of January, that is the day of the freewheeler in the week of mystery and imagination. And he is a Capricorn Aquarius cusp. Make of that what you will. I don't know what to make of that. My mum was into that sort of thing. And love you, Anthony, too. Excellent. We're going to start getting on with stuff soon now. I will a couple other things. Ellen, lovely to see you. Lovely Ellen, always brilliant. Karma for Dawson. I think you responded to him going blind. Maybe. He's pretty old now. I've done some research on Dawson because I have done a lot of research on people in the independent media who aren't telling the truth. Alex Jones talks Trump poke. Sugar Water says Bill Gates got us the good vaccine. Wow, did he really say that? That makes me feel sickened inside. Um, okay. Oh, here we go. Live with Meta, DNA measure BA. Anyone else notice Whitney Webb Rumble is down with a 404 message? She doesn't actually set up those herself. It's other people who set those up, as far as I know. From when I was with her, I knew that. So it would likely be someone else pulled down. But Rumble, remember what's going on with Rumble at the moment. Rumble deleted 3 of my videos the other day without telling me. So it deleted the videos, Epstein videos about Younkerman, and they went straight away. No, they didn't even notify me they were gone. So Rumble is about to turn the same way as Rockfin. They were platforms that were built to lead us all in so that they could then just pull up the rug from under us. So all rug pull platforms, Just looking through, maybe she deleted it. I don't think she did. Here we go. We got Waterhole Exchange. Glad to see you marching on, Johnny. Discern and discriminate. The psyop is so deep. They know they are up to their necks. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yeah, I only listen to you, Whitney and Matt Herrett. Yeah, it's complicated because Whitney's my ex and she hates me so much. So I mean that's complicated. Matt Herrett, I like him. He's a very nice guy. He's done a lot of. They've had me on a couple of times. I like those guys. Stumble Alina. Hello, Stumble Alina. What a good name. I hope I don't find out Epstein is my dad. Well, yes, it's true. It's true. Look at this. Okay. Paranautica is going to be on Truth Bomb on the main event soon. I'm going to have to explain to you at the end of this episode, Truth Bomb is changing. There's going to be main events, there's going to be qualifying rounds, and there's going to be wild card rounds. And it's going to get really cool. Also, I hope to do real big live shows with it on X Spaces and things eventually, and try and find more people than just inside the independent media. I want this to be a something that bursts echo chambers, completely bursts echo chambers. Let's see. I know Peter Thiel sucks. Yeah, it's true. It's definitely true. Oh no, did Darkstorm attack Rumble again? No, Rumble's attacking Rumble, methinks. I think Rumble's doing it to South. And we have caught up. I am going to light what's in my hand and give it a little lick. Both Cheech and Chong would like what I'm doing here. And we are going to go into Epstein's family tree very soon. Now, I'm not going to go on there and show you that Epstein was like related to Charlie Chaplin or Bill Withers or anyone famous. Why Bill Withers was one of the first people that came into my head, I do not know. It's a lovely day anyway. But I'm not going to show you that. This is going to be something that's really important for a lot of people. And can I just say again, wait a minute, where'd you go? There you go. Paranautica. I really am looking forward because Paranautica, hopefully, we're trying to line them up with the another person who's in the room at the moment, which is right at the top of here. We're hoping to getting together with Dr. Clown, who I like very much, and who you should buy his songs and support his work. He's a very funny fella. We're going to look at Epstein's family tree, and this is very important because, for obvious reasons. This is a first step down in the route to finding out who Epstein was, why he was so super connected. It makes no sense why he's so super connected, because you'd expect his father to be something big or his mother to be something big, but that's quite not the way it is. Now, some people have claimed that this other guy is Epstein, related to Epstein, or this other guy, and like these Harvard professors or these professors here, and it's just not true. It doesn't. I can't find any evidence to prove any of that. What I find is that Epstein is it seems to be like they want to make him alone. Like it's only him, his parents don't matter, his grandparents don't matter, etc. etc. And I don't believe that. So this is the first step. There'll probably be a second part of this. This is the first step though. Here we go. Let's do it. Let's share the screen with. Here we go. Gotta present. Ba-ba-ba. Here we go. Pop. As always, with Ancestry. And I hope you can all see that fine. I'll try and keep everything in. Here we go. This is Epstein's family tree. Now, this is as far as I'm able to get for a very good reason at the moment. Now, there's a few more. There's extras down here. There's extras down here. Ooh, up. There's down here, and there's extras down here. And there's actually some people who have family that we'll get into, and we can look at each of them and their connections individually. And there's a couple of names that do come up. And we will start off here. 1953 to 2019, Mr. Jeffrey Edward Epstein, born in Brooklyn, Kings County in New York, and died, 10th of August 2019. Of course, he would have been wearing something similar to this, but in orange, probably, standard issue prison top. I'm pretty positive when he died. When he was, and now I'm pretty positive. Are you? Is there anybody here who actually believes that Epstein did not kill himself? Anybody? Anybody? I'm willing to one person who thinks that Epstein was either killed or is still alive. Have we got anybody in the house? Definitely a no from Paranautica there. Remember, if you have any questions, ask any questions. As Joel Allen saying, there are independent media that is put in place to, as Johnny puts it, rug pullers, and those who endorse gatekeepers without realizing what they are, in my opinion. I agree completely. Here we go. We got one. Miss Macy. Hello, Miss Macy. Nice to have you with us. He's still alive, says Miss Macy. Paranautica says most likely he's safe and sound. Here there's Stumbleina says definitely didn't kill himself, maybe alive but unlikely. I'm interested by this because I do think that there's no I mean, by what I can work out, there doesn't seem to be any viable logical reason why I think they would keep him alive, because these guys, they don't care about human life. For that option to be so, oh, we'll look after our own. They would have to care about other people, and I think these guys are the most narcissistic people around. Teresa Wild says he's still alive, in my opinion, or killed. Little Cow said he didn't kill himself. We know that. Who knows? They lie so much. Yeah, he knew too much. They snuffed him out, says Wild Heather. Too true, probably. Didn't kill himself. Probably still alive, though. Doubt it, as their MO is cut dead weight. I agree with that Warthol exchange, but I also agree with the fact that we should be open to the fact that could be a possibility. It could be 1-2% chance that he's still alive. Hulbert King says truth is stranger than fiction. He's on Fancy Island with Ken Lay. Well, he might be on Terramar, the real Terramar, with Ken Lay instead, with Ken Lay and plenty of others, and Tupac Shakur. Only reason he'd be alive is if he has a dead man switch. Indeed, and he does seem like the king of the dead man switch. And you have to remember that when they were searching his island, At one point, a guy flew a drone over the top of it, and you could see circular markings which showed that they were doing ground penetrating radar in his island. So they obviously thought he was hiding something down there. Um, they don't change. They change names like flipping a coin. It's true. They change names and probably faces nowadays. Joel Allen says dead, but not by his own hands. I agree with that. Why is Nygaard still alive? Indeed, why is Nygaard still alive? But the thing is, because he hasn't been arrested properly, hasn't he? Has he been arrested? I suppose he has been arrested. Is he? Oh, it's a good question, though. But to me, yes. Why would they keep him alive? Eugenics knowledge. Maybe. He was very talented in whatever he did, which is everything that we're not allowed to know that he did. They pick off the lowest hanging fruit, says Teresa, and in masses they need a narrative. Definitely hung himself from the door handle. I don't know about that. Chilling with McAfee. Yeah, maybe he is. Maybe he is. You're right there. Dr. Clown, Media Bear says chilling with McAfee. There could be a good chance that that's what he's doing. I really do find it very interesting, though, that most of these answers are, probably a chance he's still alive. Because right afterwards, everybody was sure he was dead. I remember I went on Jason Bamas the day after he died, or a couple of days after he died, and said, 99% chance that he's dead. And he was like, "Oh no, it's got to be 100%, etc." And I was like, "There's no 100% in this," but yeah, he told me off for it. Um, then he is bigger in the operation and stated by the media. True, he is bigger in the operation and stated by the media. That is true. That's true. He carried out a mission they had him do. He messed up and killed him and used suicide as a manner of death. I think that's probably the most likely, but still. He wasn't a great scientist or mathematician, but he was a very good interlocutor. That's for sure. Epstein may still be alive. There were a few photos of the corpse on the gurney with different nose and facial composition. True, too true, but that's always hard. Death is a hard thing. Blood drains out of your body and you start to look a little different. Why is everyone getting sucked into these stories about giants, by the way? I've been noticed that these are rabbit holes and false doors that one is a false door. It's true. They're spreading. This is a time of fifth generation warfare. They're still, yeah, okay. McAfee is still Nygaard is in prison. Okay, yeah. Well, I would think that when will that go to trial? That's the question. One of the questions. Same with P. Diddy. When will that go to trial? I'd like to see that because I'm not sure if they'll make it that far. Not strange that Epstein's muse, Ghislaine Maxwell, is jailed for procuring young girls for Epstein's client, but none of those clients is even under investigation, or any of the many other people who were procuring girls. Even in the very first interview Maria Farmer did, or the very first two interview Maria Farmer did after Epstein was arrested and died, was she said she was out on the streets with Ghislaine Maxwell and doing the same thing. So there was a whole load of adults who were also grooming young children for sex with Epstein. They weren't. You can't treat him as naive. I mean, Maria Farmer was in her 20s by that point. You can't be that naive. And I think a lot of these people have got off the hook. Of course, Sarah Kellen is the same. Whatever she is now. Yes, in knowledgeable eugenics, paid scientists 20 million a month. I heard. Maybe that's true. Maybe that is true. There's a good chance that Ghislaine Maxwell was higher up than him. Well, I think that Ghislaine Maxwell's protected by her brothers and sisters. I think they've got all of the keys to the kingdom. That's they've expanded what the Promise software was as well in that sense, so that they can have the keys to the kingdom. And make it so that it's really awkward to get rid of them. That's the only way. I mean, they've got the best form of blackmail, access to the official databases. Okay, what have we got? I trust Baden's autopsy. John Luke Bruned, whereas Brunel, you know that he's listed it underneath. Hung himself too. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. It's a very interesting. That was one. It was one where I was on a X space at the beginning of 2024. It was one of the big ones. There was like it was one of the ones with like 1 million views or whatnot, or more than 1 million views. And Ian Carroll was on there too. And we were talking about routes, and he was trying to talk about one route, and I was like saying, "Yeah, but what about this route?" And that was the route that every time they met Jean-Luc Brunel, they kept going to Newfoundland in Canada, in a tiny little airport near a military base before they went back to America. And they would meet, so they would meet their guy who got them little girls, fly to a place where they could drop those little girls off, and then come back to America. I'd really like to know more about that. When we were talking about that, the X space got brought down, so it just went down all of a sudden. Runaway Slav, who's more likely to be alive? Epstein or Prigozhin, the Wagner boss? Oof, I don't know. I don't. That's a. There you go. That is a truth bomb question. There, I like it. Giants were really dog. Were real dog. Indeed. But all of these, like, yeah, they were really tall people back in the day. Were probably really tall people, but they were probably idolized to an extent. And eventually, they were the ones in battle who got killed first because they were the easiest to hit with projectiles when projectiles got better. So I think, I think if you look at animals and you look at humans, both have decreased in size, in like the tallest size, as projectile weapons have got better. And I think there may be an association to be made there, that it's easier to shoot someone who sticks out from the crowd or is bigger or is taller. P. Diddy's trial is set for May. Too true. I was looking at what's it? She's called something like My Star Witness or something on YouTube. She covers the P. Diddy trial quite a lot. She's quite interested. And he was in court with his grey hair, trying to look cool. I think he's probably having an easy time in prison, perfectly honest. I would think they would all love him. Nephilim are real. The Indians massacred them. Very possibly. Unfortunately, they hide everything from us, so I can't prove it. I think Jay Epstein, and I hope you're not talking about Jason Epstein, the old editor of Random House, who is a mate of all Jeffrey Epstein's friends. No, Jay Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Elon Musk types are all cutouts. They're connected, but not smart, not even bright, dim and annoying. It's true. We are going to get through some of this. Right. Okay. We're going to go back. I love reading. I love the fact that you're so interactive today, though, folks. Happy Easter. Really glad to see you here at Easter. And let's do this. Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah. Let's go on to him and have a little look what we've got written down. I'm not sure how much detail I would have filled in here, but enough. You see there's some sources here to, like if I click on that, you see that's how we know his birth. We got his birth record here, so we can view his birth certificate, view the record properly. Doing family history stuff takes a long time. A lot of it is you go onto these things and you have to check each record individually and make sure that you haven't messed up. Okay, Epstein here, and goes definitely that side, and Epstein, and we should be there. Jeffrey Epstein, there he is. That's his birth record there. Jeffrey Epstein. And it's on the births reported in the city of New York. In the city of LA, we keep it rocking. Right, okay, let's keep going back, though. And let's get back onto Epstein's main page. Now, here, you'll be able to see a few details about his residence, possible marriage records. There's no marriage records, but there is another person called Jeffrey Epstein, Jeffrey E. Epstein, who worked publicly through the 80s. I can't remember what it was for. It was for like an advertising marketing company. He comes up a lot when you're researching, but it's definitely not the same one. They have different ties. And this is Jeffrey Epstein's father, Seymour George Epstein. Seymour Epstein. Let's Seymour Epstein. We've all got Seymour Epstein on Seymour on the brain here. Oh, let me just sort out my screen again and take off. Up. I am going to slow me things. Every time my screen changes, it can be hard. Oh, let's see. There's lots going on here. I will have to catch up with the conversation in a sec, but for the time being, let's stick here. So, as we see, this is Epstein's father. He was born in 1916. Died in 1991. 1991 in Epstein's life is really important. It's also near the time that Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert Maxwell, of course, dies as well. So they're both going on their own. Both their fathers pass around the same time. Not sure if that had any major effect. Now remember, Epstein and Maxwell met around 88, 89. And by that time, he's already working for intelligence. So people who say that Robert Maxwell recruited him or whatnot, well, he's already working for the CIA for 8, 9 years by that point. Seymour George Epstein was born in New York and died in Ohio. Now that is very interesting because he died in Les Wexner's state. So I wonder if Epstein would have met Wexner in about 1987. In about 1987, Wexner in the mid 80s, Wexner went to New York from Ohio and felt like he had to create a central place for him to be, and that's really a pretty vital moment that Wexner came there. He only stayed a few years, but he made a very important relationship, that relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, and then signed over that he had power of attorney basically over nearly all of his stuff. Wexner before had been a major organizer of American Jewish organization. So we'll see the Judaism represented in Epstein's family trees. Again, you've got different records down here, down the sides that give us show us that he was actually there's the death of his father, of Seymour's father. So that's Epstein's paternal grandfather, Julius Moses Epstein. We'll find out a bit more about him now. You can see some of the details of where he lived and where he was registered. So you can see they're living in New York through most of it. And then when does it change? Still residence New York, residence Ohio. And so that's 1944. So they're already having a residence in Ohio in 1944. That's very interesting as well. And then his death. And at one point as well, look, he's seen as if we look, this document here shows that Seymour was living in West Palm Beach in 1987. Now, the thing is about that, we know that Epstein was living in West Palm Beach, in Palm Beach. He was living in El Brillo Way, but he bought that property in July or August 1990. So 3 years after that. So his father's already based himself down in Florida. Maybe Epstein's already got a place down there. His dad's ill. He has his dad come stay with him. Epstein's mum was Pauline, known as Paula, and her maiden name was Stallowski. So both Jewish, of course. Again, died in West Palm Beach, Florida. So died in 2004. This is after this just before 2004 is just before they start investigating him. It's just as one of the girl's mothers who's being molested by Epstein goes and to the police, and says, my daughter has been molested by this guy. I want something done. And the copper on charge does something about it. Shocking moment for Epstein for sure. He lost all of his power, well, a load of his power, not all of his power, clearly, nearly overnight. Let's have a little look at what she looks like if we can get close up on that image of her. So that's about what we can get. She obviously had a bit of a bite, did she? Maybe that wasn't a bite. Maybe that's just shiny lipstick. Hard to see the picture there, though. But that's Epstein's mother. And let's actually go and give a little look at Epstein's father as well and see what type of picture we got there. So let's see. Does he look like Epstein? Wow! Look at that. Look at that face. That's pretty round face. So neither of them look extremely like Epstein. I'll go back to the chat in a sec, but Seymour Epstein, his father, as I said, was Julius. Julius was born in, here we go, 1882 in Poland. Screams of Ashkenazi Jews, of course. That's what it seems. 1882 is the perfect time to be trying to escape the pogroms. As you see, his father's there, Moshe Leib Epstein is there, and his mother, Sarah Slova Kaplan, is also there. Of course, he marries, the grandfather marries Bessie Fisher, Tesha, and the children they had, Frieda Epstein, then Seymour Epstein, then Arnold Harold Epstein. So that's Jeffrey Epstein's uncle and Jeffrey Epstein's auntie. Though it doesn't say when his auntie died. It might actually be a very, very young. Now, for Julius, as we go back to 1882, for Julius, you see, look at how many sisters and brothers he had. So we got Leah, Isidore, Philip, Hyman, Millie, Max, Marnie, Rachel, and Maya, Rose, Louis, Fanny, Jamie, and Frida, and it says there's a birth of a son as well, Seymour. So that's a big family, but Jewish families were having big families back there. They were having as many kids as possible, as they kind of do now, where they have as many kids as possible. And that, of course, puts pressure in whichever region they're in. Bada bing, bada boom. There's some sort of conflict socially, and then what happens? They end up getting pushed out whichever region they're in. We're going back to the actual family tree here before I go back to the chat quickly. We just had a quick look here at Seymour Epstein, and you see his father's Julius Moses Epstein, his mother's I think it's Bessie. Is it Bessie? Yeah, Bessie Fisher. They changed it to Fisher, but her actual name was Tesha, which makes it harder to find. So we can go back quite far with some of these. The furthest we've gone back is probably about 1700s. About 1700s. It's hard with Jewish records for that reason. Right. Okay. Let me see. Let me catch up a little bit with what's going on in the chat while we're doing this. Let's see what's going on. Ghislaine Maxwell has still got some fat right. I'm not gonna read that out. But everybody likes the milk sacks, mate. So that's what they say. Well, Kevin Maxwell, when I was working for Serious Fraud Office many years ago, or met Kevin Maxwell, especially odious character. Yeah, you could tell that. Serious Fraud Office. They were some serious characters too. There is Ellen, of course, Hawaiian, i.e., almost 9 feet. We're talking about giant still. Most likely thing happened. They turned off the camera soon enough. Here we go. What we got here, Johnny. Where do you see the central planners taking us by the year 2030? 2030 is referenced countless times by every globalist think tank, NGO, and institution. What do you think will happen? Well, I think people don't realize quite how quickly the next 5 years is going to move. We're looking at such a massive collapse of the economy by then that they're able to reform or have the excuse to reform large parts of our society. Now, we've said this over and over again on the independent media, but what that actually means is that AI will take away so many jobs that people will be poor, out on the street. They will be chaos. There will be poverty that people can't even understand quite yet in the Western world. They're not ready for it at all. But at the same time, there'll be this extremely, like, what looks like a lavish and rich culture that's that has embraced technology. And what I think we'll see is people who have access to technology will be given and get more. And so the people who throw themselves more into technology are more likely to be rewarded, basically. So us who don't agree with technocracy or maybe want to have an easier life will constantly be beaten down as best they can. Um, let me see. Let me see. I'm gonna go through. Of course, Brian Epstein, the Beatle manager. Any relation? No, no. A fair bit. Last message. Yeah, yeah, indeed. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry, I was blocking a bit of the screen. Indeed, it was. And there's oh, Lambert, Albertus, he cares, he cares. I know you're gonna mention Big Mike. Says Epstein, as dead as it can be, it's pretty obvious he was murdered, and it was Jeffrey Epstein and not a body double. If you have eyes that can see, very biblical thing to say on a day like this, and feel you see that the dead man is Jeffrey Epstein and no one else. Epstein equals still alive as psyop like Big Mike becoming Bridget Castro. No planes hit the Twin Towers. Yeah, there is a lot of psyoping, and I do agree that it's hard to know what's going on, but you are quite right there, Ahmed. According to the astrology book, well, I don't know what that means, little cow. Not sure if what that's got to. We could go with Epstein and Lambert as well. You love your long messages. Here you have murdered Jeffrey Epstein. If you can't see this, bloody, bloody, blah. And he leaves a link on his X as well. If you don't follow Lambert Albertus on X, he's constantly posting very, very, very extremely extremely triggered by the whole Big Mike thing, and I understand why, fella. I understand why. It's a bit annoying, but it's what people do to win elections nowadays, um, isn't it? It adds. It isn't it odd? It is the chicken swingers who tell White Christmas to stop having kids, White Christians, sorry, to stop having kids because of some nonsense overpopulation environmentalism, and then say the import non-whites. Yeah, they have, but it is within Judaism to have as many kids as possible to go forward and multiply. No one is telling Jews or coloreds to have less kids. Kalergi, replacement reality, not theory. That is definitely true. It is a reality. Technocracy or far left UN crap are two choices we face. It's too true. Couple more messages. Agenda 2030. The clue is in the name. Indeed, indeed it is. And there you go. They just want to make it impossible to be left alone. It's true. Let's get back on to it, though. We're going to go back in because we have got a bit to go through. There is a little bit to go through. I mean, some of these people are just regular, everyday people, of course. The thing is about Epstein is trying to find out why he was so important and why they chose him is quite hard. I get a feeling I'm getting closer to the answer. So his great granddad, so his dad was Seymour George Epstein. His granddad was Julius Moses Epstein. This is paternal side. His great granddad was Morris Moshe Leib Epstein, who was born in 21st of August, 1892 in Poland. Obviously, another Ashkenazi Jewish family. I'm pretty positive that if we click on to see what Morris was like, that he would have probably moved here just in the same about late 1800s, probably when he was. Look how many. I mean, unbelievable birth of sisters, brothers, and then sons and daughters. The amount of kids some of these guys were having was insane. So when we say who was Epstein associated with, related to, when we say, oh, could he have been related to Brian Epstein? Yes, he could have been related to any of the Epsteins. The Epsteins went forward and they multiplied. So what about his great great granddad? His great great granddad was called Solomon Shlomo Shimshah Epstein, and he was born in 1833 in Minsk, Russia. Again, all Ashkenazi Jews, it seems. None of them will actually be Jews that are from Israel genetically. All of them will be Jews who are from Eastern Europe or Russia, which seems to be a regular theme. Again, lots of different, and now so what's interesting, and this will develop as I go through the tree slowly, over time. This will develop. You see the daughters here, like the birth of daughter Paula Epstein later goes on to be called Brody. Maiden name Epstein for Sarah Epstein, later called Shaftan. You've got Binion, you got Deborah Vansky. So you've got these other families that they're married into, and this is how we can find connections as well. Lots of different connections. Now, so that was his great great granddad Shlomo SS, paternally SS Epstein, and we go back to his great 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 grandfather as far as we can get back in the father's line, in the Epstein line, and it's Hyman Epstein. Someone who, yeah, there's gonna be some sort of broken joke somewhere along the lines, I'm sure. Seeing as that Epstein was who he was, I'm sure there's a lot to be said there. There's not much information on Hyman. He married Annie Epstein, and again, not much information, but we do know those are the parents of Solomon. Solomon married Goldie Guida Golday. Often when they put Golday, what they're doing in Golda, they're saying then her name was probably Golda or Golday Solovyachik. But in actual fact, it's just one of those names. It's just they've put all of the first name nicknames there. Born Russia, 1841. All of this smells of pogroms, and the Jews moving west. 1902, Manhattan, New York. Of course, masses of people moving. And you can see on this one, we've got a headstone. It's mainly in Hebrew by the looks of it. So I'm probably going to understand what it says. Don't know what it says. Now, on the side for Julius Mosette sign, you got Sarah or Sluva Kaplan. That's another name. Now, look for these last names. These last names are important. We're going to check each one of these. We got the time to check each one of these, and you'll understand why when we get over to the other side, when we get over to the mother's line. There is a couple of names that are very interesting. Spouses and children. Look at this. Look at all of these children. They were just knocking them out. So Epstein is related to so many people because they went forward and multiplied. And remember, where Jews have been, their numbers and population have been cut down due to anything like pogroms or death camps or whatever's happened in the past. They've continued to go forwards and multiply massively, which, like I say, is where the pressure comes. And if we look at Seymour's mother, now Seymour's mother is Betty Fisher, Tesha. They like to say Tesha. Again, Belarus. Again, Ashkenazi Jew. Died in Brooklyn in Kings County. And you can see some of the names there. Murray Lesher. You see, Tesha got changed to Lesher. Mayor Tesha kept the name. George Tesha kept the name, but Rebecca changed hers to Fisher, so that it was sounded probably more Western. There's Miriam Mammy Tesha too. Massive families, lots of all of them are Eastern Europe, Russian, Belarusian here, and they're going across and they're moving to America. Again, Samuel Tesher, the same. The father there is Bessie, is again one who had lots of kids, moved around. You got his residency, different residence, and you can see it's roughly the late 80s. Oh, so 1890 is his arrival. So we can see from this document here that these people were on the ship when they arrived. So, or at least in the census when it arrived. And so it showed what some of these people were doing. Birth date 1836, Russia, Manhattan Ward. Samuel Tesher was living in 5A East Houston Street. He was considered white, a male. He emigrated in 1890. He was the head of the household, spoke Yiddish. His industry, he was a tailor in a shop. So a tailor, which is very interesting. He was the wage earner. They paid rent. And you can see he was able to read and write as well. So there's a lot of information there about him from the information within these documents as well. We can see a lot from the past. This is why I love history. I love going back through family history. Just such a good time. Now, Samuel married Esther Goldfarb. Again, Russia. Again, 1858. So you would think, what, 1890 to 1900 is when they arrived? 1891, 1892, 1893. So maybe she went in and out. Maybe it's multiple people, but there you go. You can see that who she arrived with when she arrived on the birthday. It's very, again, I find it very interesting. She got married in 1890, and was soon over in with her and her children over there in America. We'll keep going through this side because then I want to go over to the other side. You got some pictures on the other side too. We've got Simon Tesher, so we don't have much information about him. We just know he was born in Russia. And Fanny Tesher, nice name. We always like a Fanny. That was again born in Russia. And Esther Goldfarb, her father was Morris Goldfarb. We don't see much information about him. Again, born Russia, died in 1908, so not long after they had emigrated, and he was married to Lena Talovsky. So that is the paternal side of Jeffrey Epstein's family. Every single one of them are from Poland, Russia, Belarus. They all come over between about 1885 and 1905, say. And they're obviously part of the pogroms. So here we go. Before we go over to the father side, I'm going to go back. I like to see lots more activity there. A white Christmas, indeed. I did say white Christmas. Chicken Swingers, let me just catch up. When did he team up with Ghislaine Maxwell? Was he active before or after they met? He was active before. In actuality, between 1980 and 1984, sometime between there, probably quite early, about 1980, 81, he was sharing an office with Stan Pottinger while Stan Pottinger was working for the CIA, and they were arranging the start. They were literally arranging the base of funding for Iran-Contra, the Iran side of Iran-Contra. And then he met Ghislaine Maxwell in about 88, 89. So he's working for the CIA 8 years before he meets Ghislaine Maxwell, about that before. So he was very active before. Again, Joel Allen says, spot on, active before. And there you go. Epstein's granddad's name is a hate crime. I know. Wow, you get into that when you actually everything's a hate crime in white world nowadays. Everything is a hate crime in the white world. Mum just burnt burgers. Oh, that's a bad Easter, man. That's a bad Easter with burnt burgers. Kaplan is important. Kaplan is huge in medicine and med school exams. It would be very interesting then to follow that line, because line forward and backwards, they had such large families that it can be second cousins and the like. who also have they all get together at celebration times. So they're all around. Everybody gets to see each other. Everybody gets to know each other. Everybody networks. Later on, they got businesses. They all networking. Well, they can do something for each other, and it works. Um, Kaplan was the fake agent's name in North by Northwest. Oh, Dark Commission. That's why I like you. And Ashkenazis, originally from the kingdom of Khazaria and converted to Judaism in the Middle Ages, or we'll say in that get us in trouble with the ADL. No, it is very much true. The guy who is the head of Khazaria, the chief, said, "I want to us to have a strong ethical and moral religious sort of society. So let's have a look at the top three religions. Shall we be ding 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 ding? Shall we be Jewish? No. Shall we be Muslim? No. Shall we be Christian? Oh, we'll be Jewish. Go on, we'll go back. We'll be Jewish. Why not?" And then they made everybody Jewish. I can't even imagine what the 30 years in between where everybody's forced to look Jewish, act Jewish, and change their whole way. That's nuts. But whatever happened, it ended up forcing them to have to move west because it didn't work out. It didn't work out with the locals. They didn't like it eventually, obviously. That's how I read it, Tim. Too true. Pretty sure the Khazars are yeah, the Ashkenazis, of course, that's the way it works. East Houston Street, the name, home of Cat's Deli. Katz's Deli. Now that's very interesting. That's a good one. Where some famous delis around, or there's some Easter egg talk going on. How come so many Jews are tailors? Is it a stitch up? Oh, Dark Commission, knocking it out there. I love it. I love it. I love a little bit of that. Right, let's see. We're getting through it. It's very funny. Um, Johnny pissing off New Yorkers pronouncing Houston like Houston, Texas, instead of Houston. I like it since I grew up in Houston, Texas. New York City overrated anyway. Yeah, we have the same. We have the same over here in Wales. Trust me, you would pronounce most of the names in Wales wrong. I can tell you. Do you know how to spell Sputty Gwynedd? I bet you don't know how to spell a Sputty Gwynedd. Okay, right. Cheers, Dark Commission. Yes, yes. I'm just having a look through all of the different mentions here. Here you go. There are a few people talking about Khazars. Russia has been named the eternal enemy because they brought the Khazars down, hence the fight against Russia today, and hence the pogroms eventually, and things like that. Hence the reason why. Anytime I read Khazarian, it just goes back to Ben Shapiro's sister Abigail and her gargantuan jubes. Oh my God. I have to say, like, she has got the biggest tubes I think anybody's ever seen, Ben Shapiro's sister. Now, no one, I know at home, out of the 686 people who've been watching or who are watching this, some of you are going to be typing in Ben Shapiro's sister just to see how big her tubes really are. And normally I would say, don't be so dirty. But they're like, I suppose they're kind of like, Mount Everest or Uluru or any other, they have to be seen. They are wonders of the world, so it is acceptable. They live for revenge. They are the paradox we need to balance to move forward to the next evolution. Yeah, yeah, I feel it too. I feel it too. It's a very complicated situation. Didn't they go to Spain? They went all over the place. If you could talk about, because the Ashkenazis, they went everywhere. Um, there was a lot of what are they called? Sephardic Jews who did a lot of traveling, because they're supposed to go to Sephardic Jews are often supposed to go to areas where there's no Judaism and start spreading their seed as much as possible and dominating, like making pockets by building up large families. So that was part of that's part of the thing too. Waterhole Exchange, Solzhenitsyn's 200 Years Together outlines how the coin clippers seek revenge on Russia for the expulsion of Jews into the Pale in 1972 by Zarina Yekaterina the second. That's really interesting. I'm going to have to do a lot of research into this. This is something I'm going to go away and look at what actually happened to the Khazarians. They went west. Red shields were Bowers, according to Chuck Swindle Jr., and the docos on Khazars, aka God Eaters. There you go. Reading Welsh is a nightmare. Hey, you tried my life. I had to have Welsh class and then Welsh top up and then French and then German as well on top of that in school. And Welsh, yeah, it is a nightmare, but it is also extremely fun. I mean, it's a language where every single meaning has got a new word. That's really rare. She must have a good back because shit hurts past your 20s. Indeed, I don't think she does. I think eventually she'll be bent over. Ben Shapiro, sister, she'll be bent over with the weight. You know, she'll be rubbing her hands together. I think you know the routine. Back pain forever. Men and boobs from time to time immemorial. Did Eric Weinstein really outsmart Epstein after spotting multiple hidden cameras by sitting down with him for a dinner? No, Eric Weinstein's a dirty, rotten liar who claims a load of things that just aren't true. And instead, he was selling out. I think he would have met Epstein on multiple occasions. I think it's going to come out eventually that we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. And look at that. Beautiful. Hello, C. Lacey. Blessings and greetings and salutations to you too. And Dark Commission says, my dad was a Welsh speaker, only spoke Welsh until starting school, got beaten by English teachers for speaking his own language. Yeah, remember in Wales, we had a sign, a bit of wood put around our neck if we spoke Welsh for many decades. And people would throw things at you. In my honest opinion, you never speak Welsh, you sing it. It's a beautiful lyrical language. Indeed, indeed. Sosban vac, vac. Yeah, no, indeed. We won't get into that. Let's not get into that. Let's not get me singing in Welsh now. It'll just embarrass everybody. Let's get back onto it. Here we go. We caught up. Let's go down the mother's line. We're doing well. We're getting through it. We're looking at Pauline Stallowski's line. Her father was Max Mordecai Morchel, which I think is another version of Mordecai, and they didn't know if it was Stallowski or Stallowski, which is another reason why it's hard to find some of the names. When you actually build up these family trees, you have to make sure they've got similarities in the same. Again, on this side, so now we're on the maternal side of Epstein's family, and we're in Poland, so we're still there. Birth of sister in Lithuania, and then on to Russian Poland. So they actually moved. Look, occupation of here we go. There you go again. I do like a bit of this. I do like skipping through the archives, but here you go. Max Stallowski, there he is. Taylor, wage earner. Maybe we already looked at this. Oh no, this is definitely a different one, but definitely a Taylor. They're very good. They know how to put things together. Now, what is that picture? You see that picture there? I'm wondering what that picture is. Let us see what the gallery shows for Max Mordecai. And we are going to come across a couple of things that are very interesting. I find them interesting, but I find really silly things interesting. You know, I'm some of the things I find interesting and not interesting for other people. So this is just a paper with a list of the family. This is someone else's notes for their ancestry tree, which you see on occasion. So let's come out of Max's part of the family tree there, and let's go back to the actual wall. Let's look at his wife. We could have done that inside. We could have looked at Lena Berlin. Now here we go. Yes, Sora Leia, her name was. She was born in 1895 in Lithuania. And she died in 1952. Again, Brooklyn, New York. They all went to New York. Death of her father, Joseph Wolf Berlin. That's one hell of a name, Joseph Wolf Berlin. And as you see, some of the other family, Ruth Solodowski, Dora Berlin was her sister, Esther Brown. Ah, here we go. This is one of the interesting ones. Here is one of the interesting ones because you see spouse and children here, but you also have this name here, death of sister, Bessie Wasserman. So Bessie Wasserman, here you see this part. She was children of Charles Wasserman, apparently written down. So I don't know how they are related, but the Wasserman family is extremely important. You see there's a lot of them, and this is a name that comes up again and again. Very interesting that they're related. We come across it a little bit later as well. We'll come across it in a sec because I think it's either one of these, it's one of their sisters who actually get married to a Wasserman. There you go. So Bessie Wasserman. So Joseph Wolf Berlin had a fair few, but one of them was this one, who's noted down twice under two different names. Her name was Bessie Berlin when she was born, but she married and was Bessie Wasserman. And Wasserman, if you know who Lou Wasserman is, and I would assume that if we looked down the lines, we're going to get to Lou Wasserman related to Bessie Wasserman. So we'll find out. Lou Wasserman was a man who run Hollywood. He ran Hollywood in the 20s, 30s, 40s. He had a daughter and a son. His daughter had a son. The name Wasserman was lost, but that son would reuse the name as well. His name was Casey Wasserman, and he would fly on the Lolita Express on multiple occasions with Jeffrey Epstein. So Lou Wasserman's grandson, Casey Wasserman, who's still involved in different things today, is an extremely important and interesting person. Casey Wasserman is noted as flying when they go to Africa. Casey Wasserman flies with them at one point and gets them on board. And that's a very interesting trip, the African trip. But I think the Wassermans, I think they're related to the Epstein family. Because obviously we got a Wasserman here, so they're married in already, but I think they're actually going to be more heavily related, and that would explain why Casey Wasserman maybe is a link to there. That would also explain why some of these families seem protected or seem elite, seem like they're up there because they're Wassermans, and the Wassermans were running large parts of Hollywood. Lou Wasserman and his brother, the were extremely powerful people back in the day. I cannot understate how powerful those people were. And they were related to this side. So the maternal side, Pauline Stallowski, Soralea Berlin, whose father was Joseph Wolf Berlin, Esther Brown, is from that side of the family. If we follow off those parts of the family, we can see we get back to Jacob Berlin in Russia, who married Ethel Malodowski. She doesn't have a birth date. We just know her name because it's on his birth certificate, on Joseph Wolf Berlin's birth certificate. That's how we know. And we know that Esther Brown's father name was Brown. That's all we know. Now, it's very interesting, the name Brown, because it could be Brown or Braun. It could be anglicized to stop from causing issues, but it could actually be that they were marrying outside a non-Jew. Very unlikely, though, because you know what Jews are like. They like to marry other Jews. Just the same as most. I mean, I live in an area that's full of Indian people, and they all marry Indian people, and why not? They love each other, and they feel comfortable with each other, and they're scared of dogs. So there you go. Here we go. We've got someone here that's really interesting. I find him really interesting. Reuven. Reuven Ishiel or Reuven Yehoshai. Stallowski or Stallowski. born in 1857 in Poland, Congress, Poland. Died 1915 again in Brooklyn. Masses of sons and daughters, as always. These guys are going to have lots of links. Some people, there's a Cohen here as well. If if we go back to this time and then we work forward through each of these members of the family, we will find a load of influential people. 100% we will find a load of influential people. It's very interesting. We can see their journey from things like the passenger list. We can see their arrival again, 1902. So between 1885 and 1905 tends to be the time that all of these guys are coming over. Again, fits the same profile, Polish, probably Ashkenazi Jews. We can see a little picture of Reuven here. You see it up there. It's probably not going to be much more. He's one hell of a locker. I do like these old pictures though, because they do make you think, bloody hell. Look at him. So what do you reckon? Looks a little bit like Jeffrey Epstein with a beard. What do you reckon? Misshapen, massive face, egg-shaped penis? I don't know. I can't tell. If only he'd show us. If only we had a picture of Reuven's egg-shaped penis, then we'd know if they were related. Sorry, people. I know it's Easter. I shouldn't be talking about egg-shaped penises, especially on Easter when everybody's eating their eggs. The worst time to talk about egg-shaped penises is when people are eating eggs. This is true. And he married Stallowski, married Bessie, another Bessie. My great-great-grandmother was called Bessie as well. Pesia Frida Zawadowski. Oh, God, can't say it. Birth, again, look, Poland. What a surprise. You can see that I'm sure they got their arrival. Did they get their arrival? No, burial and death. We don't know the arrival date, but we can see again that the families, these guys' families are big. Oh, God. I accidentally went way too far then. Clicked it way too many times. I was trying to see beautiful Bessie. Because look at her. She's got one hell of a big face, this girl. Sorry to anybody at home who's like, hey, she looks like me. What do you mean she's got a big face? But she's she has got, that is one hell of a face. It looks more like a painting than it does a photograph. So I wonder if it's even real or just a representation. Like maybe these are just now AI representations, but I think it's probably an etching, or if not a very early photograph, somewhere between a photograph and a photogram. Who knows? And we see that of course, Reuven's father, we can get back quite far, was Lieb Stallowski. Again, Ashkenazi, born in Poland, but died in Poland. Died before they left, 1885, died before they left. He was married to Ruszana Neshama Borowski, who was also from Poland and also died in Poland, never moved, did not move out. Now, that's really rare, isn't it? We've seen lots of them who have escaped. And it's really interesting that we see this one who's actually, these two who have actually stayed. They've decided not to go anywhere. Maybe they were persecuted, etc., etc. It was the start of World War One then, but I'm not sure that's the case. It could also be that maybe we don't have the details of when they crossed, and they did cross, and they've just put it down. But I doubt that because it's got an actual date. We know that Ea, and we're getting to the end of this now. We're coming to the end here. We got this, which is his birth. Ea's father was Janki or Yankel, Jakob, but probably Jakob, but Yankel Stallowski. He was also born in Poland about 1872. I don't know what I did there. I do not know what he did there. He was born, 1792 in Poland. So again, Ashkenaz, not any of these guys have actually come from Israel. None of them. And we don't get to see much. We get to see his spouse, Tamara, who we'll have a look, who is called Tamar, who abbreviated as Tamar. And we can see Tamar Stallowski here. It's 1796, again, Poland. We don't know when she died. And I would assume this is an assumption of her father more than anything. It was attached to her profile, but it just seems like an assumption. And then we're looking at Rushana Borowski, and we can get back to 1779. So we can see her father was Shmuel Borowski. That could have been how you originally spelled it. Binyaminowicz, Shmuel Binyaminowicz Borowski, born in Lithuania, died in Poland. Not any one of them Israeli. All of them Jews outside Israel. And the mother here was Rasha Bat Mordecai Borowski, 1784 till 1828. And over here, we got Rushana's mother was Ruyaka. Oh, wow, what a name is that? Or is Jonah, born 1800, again, Poland. And there's two last ones on here that we got to so far. And then I'm going to tell you some stuff here. We got Eliza or Liza Zawadowski, who is again Polish. And we got Annie Lib, again Polish. All of them Polish, Lithuanian, Russian, one of them Belarusian. All from the same regions. None of them actual Israelis. All of them arrived between 1885 and 1905. One of the key people, that names that come up there that may be really, really tempting to look into more is, apart from like Kaplan is true, is a good names, and maybe the Fisher names is interesting because a lot of people change their names to Fisher, and there were some Fishers who were friends with Robert Maxwell back in the day as well, but that's quite a popular name. But Jeffrey Epstein's family tree currently looks like this. Now, in a year's time, this will be much fuller, and I'll be able to go back even further once I got time. And I'll be able to go forward with some of these families, because what I want to do is find out, like, I want to check out the layers of these people's families, move forward so I know all of the brothers and sisters of these guys, all of their cousins, move forward slowly until I understand the whole range of the Epstein family and all of the different connections through family that helped with him becoming somewhat powerful, because you do not just suddenly get chosen to be powerful. You do come from families. It has to be. It's nearly always the way. It's nearly always the way. Nearly always. Nearly always. Nearly always. Let's see what some of you have said. Pete Welsh sing beautiful lyrical language indeed. Johnny singing Welsh, LOL, yeah. I still like the line in the song I was singing, which was called Sospan Vach, which means little saucepan, and was a war song in actual fact. I think it was in Llantrisant, in Wales, Llantrisant. They used to make little saucepans, saucepans for war. So when the guys were fighting, they would make the saucepans, and all these people had these saucepans that were all made in the same area in Lanishon. And what they would do is they sang this song, Sospan Vach. And in it is one of the lines is "Die back the soldier, die back the soldier, die back the soldier." And that, of course, is David the soldier. But it's all about that. It's about the fact that the Welsh were always, like, tasked with doing all of the things like mining, fueling, and creating saucepans and the like. Yeah, but I do like that song. I like Welsh. Dark Commission says you can translate Egyptian hieroglyphs using the pre-1920 Welsh dictionary. Google a chimeroglyphic. Yes, I've heard about this. The chimeroglyphics. I've heard about this. I'm not sure what to think of it, but it does lend to the idea, and again, related to this, what we're talking about now, is that the many tribes of Judah, the lost tribes of Judah disappeared, they went elsewhere, and then suddenly all these other civilizations popped up that had similarities to them. So, I'm not sure. Vaisal, Vasil, I'm not sure what that means. But anyway, great research so far, Johnny. Thank you. I mean, it takes a bit of time to build up all of that, like all of that, even just a little bit there. Some family histories. One I'm working on at the moment, a guy, Richard, who's a really nice guy. He's been really patient with me as well. I mean, I've taken a while to do it because I've had a lot in between. But on his one side of his family, I mapped out every single person I could find who's really interesting. On the other side is it's a completely different family tree, but I love going through deep family history. You learn so much. I learned so much from it. I end up having to learn the history of the region and why people ended up moving and all of that sort of stuff. So I suddenly learned all of the like really minutia of history. And it really gives me a different understanding. Ellen, who I'll say again, I love very much. Deborah Wasserman, Clinton psychic. Yeah, indeed, the Wasserman family. Like I say, the Wasserman family were often in the White House. There's pictures of Lou Wasserman in the White House on a couple of occasions. Casey Wasserman has got, I can't remember what he's doing now, but it's something very important now that he's doing. I think the Trump administration have partially taken him on board, but the Trump administration is full of Epstein associates. So he had lots of intermarriage between Italians and Catholics with Jews in New York City area. Agreed. There's a lot of it. So, and that good lends to what Runaway Slav saying here: changing names, changing money, changing demographics, changing borders, telling others to change genders. They seek to blur every single line, but their own. Of course, of course. Purity for yourself means no purity for everyone else. It's just the basis of it. If you want to keep your line pure, then your purity is only relative to those around you and how pure they are to their own lineage. That complicated sentence does make sense, I promise. C. Lacey, these people just get by with changing their names whenever they want and changing identities. Yes, yes, they do. Yes, they do. But that's whites, blacks, Asians, Latinos, Arabic people, they all do the same. There's so many people throughout history. I mean, what I was talking about earlier, where I was talking about George, I'm not going to say his name. I was saying about someone who Nick Bryant was trying to make me report on, who was a fraudster. Well, he changed his name 8 times, and weeks. The people who refer to him by the name he's chosen the last time. So we also buy into it by continuing to call them their new name. I think the dead naming should be something that maybe happens as well with some people. So they were in Lithuania first. Was that just where everyone moved to after Poland? No, I think it was before Poland. So I think they were from Lithuania and they moved down to Poland. This is something I've seen with a few different. One of the other Epstein associates, Junkerman, her family is originally from Lithuania, moved down to Germany. So I think Lithuania had a lot of people who constantly were trying to escape something. Asking because part Polish. Jak się masz? Nie duwie dojo po polsku. So there you go. I'm guessing your Easter eggs are long gone, Johnny. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they are. Yes, they are. They always are. You give me chocolate, and by the time you've handed it to me, I'm literally on the toilet. And the chocolate's well gone, it's digested. Here we go. Sorry to say that. As a white person, we need to do some dumb stuff. Obviously, someone who won't work on Saturday. Yeah. Ooh, harsh punishing person in that photo. I know. It was a hard photo though. I mean, really. They should have got a better camera. Disappointed he has no ancestors with the name Eggcock. Groove Dodger gets the comment of the night. I'm gonna put a little star by that. Keep that there. There you go. Starred. Well done, fella. I like it. Epstein, more like Eggstein. You dirty rotters. I love it. I love a little bit of joking. Oh, if only you knew. Oh, Mata! Love ya. Johnny, did you see the picture of Epstein's? Did you see the pictures of Epstein's family? Um, I'm not sure which ones you're talking about, but I'm willing to look. To send it to me, Marta. I'm, my DMs are always open for you, and they've always have been open for you, and I love hearing from you. So send me some if you've got some. Wouldn't mind looking. There was one person, in not that long ago who contacted me and was like, "I've got all of these unknown pictures of Epstein. Do you want to see them?" And he started showing them to me, and they were all like fake AI pictures, really well done, but fake AI pictures. And again, it was one of those ones where they try and get me to report on something like, "Look at these amazing pictures of Epstein," and then someone says, "Oh, they're AI," and then I go, "Oh, I haven't done my research." But I don't do that. I never do that. I do my research first. So there you go. Um, oh, Eggstein, he was a shell of a man. Oh, you DC on form. DC, if you could go in, and honestly, if you go in tomorrow, if you're free tomorrow, I'd love to do a live show where we'll have a bit of fun on Bank Holiday Monday, and we'll get you up against Joel Allen on a special fun Easter Bank Holiday Monday truth bomb. Make some of it about something like religion or something. You'll enjoy that. I'm sure you love religion. Such a religious man, DC. No, I'm joking, but I do love it. I do love it. Old school Hollywood agents, Rod Serling, Lost Christmas classic, UN propaganda. It's worth looking into. Huge public backlash, so it was scrubbed. I'd love to know anything about that. You should tell me. You should send it. I don't know where to find it. Rod Serling, send it to me. Send me some link or something. I like the idea of it, eh? Sounds interesting, yes. DC, you're on fire. Yeah, indeed. Little Carol says, DC, you're on fire tonight. Completely correct. And then someone said Rod Serling rocks. Yes, he does. I liked it. Your Welsh singing plus the history behind it, Joe. Thank you very much, Katie. Welsh history is very interesting and very fun as well. We're a very polite people who love to make friends. Every time I go down the pub, there's always foreign people. When I say foreign people, English people. Yeah, a lot of the time, but the people from all around the place, they always say the same. They're like, "Oh, Welsh people are so different than I expected. They're so much fun, and no one cares, and you can say anything to them, and they'll take it as a joke." And it is very much true. We all love to be friends, and so I mean, I'm very lucky to be Welsh, I feel. The Cymry were one of 12 tribes, and travels are documented in the cultures they passed through, ended up in Wales. I like the idea because I think it makes a lot of sense. It also makes a lot of sense to King Brutus, who you're talking 750 AD. You go back then, you got King Brutus, and that was obviously Brutus was obviously one of the first of the kings of Wales, or the earliest kings of Wales we can go back to, and obviously relations to the Roman occupation as well to an extent, or at least Rome. And yes, Katie, history is totally awesome. I love it. I've been brought up with it, wrapped up in it, can't stop it, addicted to it. Every time I find out a little bit more, I just get more and more interested. And what I always discover is that I never know the answer until I've gone through more and more and more. And then I know a little bit of the answer, but then there's more questions. So I love history, totally love it. Yeah, I got one figure, Polish figure I'm particularly curious about. Ooh, I like that. I like you can send me that. If you want to send me something and you think it might be interesting, do it. Ancient British history has become my main interest recently. Dark Commission, DC, mate, you know me and you can easily have long conversations on that for sure. Giggy, yes, Johnny agreed. Oh, it's nice to see you. Hello, Abby Lynn. Hello. Nice to see you here. You're amongst friends. Hope you come back again sometime soon as well. We've had a 802 viewers at the moment tonight, and we are ending soon. But it's been really nice to be around all of you guys. Let me tell you what I'm going to do with a truth bomb in a second. Wales and Bhutan do have badass flags. Yes, they do. I wonder who had theirs first. I would think Wales. Where the Welsh flag, I get a feeling it was probably confirmed about 1200, and Bhutan, I would think would have been later, but I don't know. I'm going to go out and find. I'm going to go and find out about that. There you go. That's a question for Truth Bomb. I wonder. Pootie Awards, yay! Pootie Tang Awards, yeah. Let's do it. Okay. There's Marta's again. Okay. I will send them. They aren't labeled, but I found them probably in 2019. Love it. I love a bit of that. Eggcock, good one. If someone's just coming in, they're like, "What's she talking about?" Well, there you go. We're talking about Epstein. Everybody knows. Excellent. Okay, excellent. Everyone's gonna make something more of it than it really is. There you go. Mahatma Levolence. Ghislaine laid eggs, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Yes. Okay, right. Trump made him a Kushner and still going through these. King Charles ain't got a missing thumb, has he? Epstein was there after all. Oh, I don't know. He's because he's all he doesn't have thumbs. He just has sausages for fingers. So I don't know. He's hiding in plain sight. Delusional. Johnny Vedmore is not credible at all. This is Nancy Weinstein. No one will interview him, not even his baby mama. She told me he's crazy. Apparently, this person, who's probably a fake person, who's called Nancy Weinstein, wonder if you're any relation to any of the other Weinsteins. Amazing you're coming around. And why would I want my ex-girlfriend? Who would want to be interviewed by their ex-girlfriend? I don't know who would want that. I don't know who would want that. So, I mean, what I'd say is, there's a rude word I'd like to say. I'll just say F off. F off, Nancy. Go on. Go back. Go back and cry in the corner. I don't care. I'm in for signing in general. It was never meant to be. Okay. Intelligence, okay, just give him through. Oh, the chat is just like TNT in the old days. Indeed, good days they were as well, weren't they? Here we go. Brutus from Troy was around 600 BC. Indeed, with Abilene being from around 1500 BC. In actual fact, I followed Jordan B. Peterson's line back to Brutus as well, which was very interesting. Cheers, Johnny, for being you. Oh, you're lovely. Another great mind expanding episode. Listen, I hope I can persuade DC and Joel to do Truth Bomb tomorrow, and then we'll be back on the air tomorrow. I'm trying to. Now I've got a bit of more time. I'm going to try and record as much stuff as I possibly can while I do have time. So hopefully you'll see a lot more of me. Break. Here we go. What we got here? I can send it, but I can't send it publicly because it's my last name. Yeah, follow me on Twitter. My DMs are open. I always have my DMs open. Anyone can send me DMs. Even Nancy Weinstein can send me DMs. She can tell me about her cousin Eric and how he's written up the plans for the UN to make economic migration for the benefit of all. These people have many faces. Yes, they do. I like you, Gigi. Groove Badger, you've been brilliant to have around. Epstein's friend Rachel Chandler, granddad Harry, was who put up the Hollywood signs, also owned LA Times. That's very interesting. Again, these people are all connected. And the Wassermans are in there as well. I mean, LA was a place of great power once upon a time. That's very interesting. Hey, do you know about Alan Watt? Not Watts, Watt. No. What about Alan Watt? That might be something you need to send me. I like it. Johnny, very good stream. Needed a nice break. Thanks. Did you know Petro abolished the visa for China? No, I didn't. Didn't. That's interesting. Well, globalism, it's back. It's around the corner. There you go. Bet she did. That's an oof egg joke. Oh God, there's lots of egg jokes. Lots of egg jokes today. We got Dumbleina's in there as well, of course. Very much. Yeah, nice F off indeed. Nancy Weinstein says, no, I won't F off. Like, no, 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 no. I put in a little timeout for being a naughty girl. If I could do it, I could do it. Bhutan flag adopted 1969, I think. Well, definitely. There you go. Wales is definite. That's what Joel Allen says, and that would make Welsh flag older. By the way, formerly honeysuckle, now water. Ah, love your work. Right, okay. Hello. You're awesome. You're awesome. You're always awesome for me. All of you are awesome. And yeah, there's some nasty people who always pop around. They always try and bring up my ex like it's gonna hurt me, but none of them have a clue, obviously, what happened in that relationship. Because if they did, they wouldn't be saying anything. In awe, Alan Watt, massive debt of gratitude. Are you talking about Alan Watt or Alan Watts? Mahatma La Violence will send link. Excellent. Excellent. All my love, Wild Heather as well. Got rid of Weinstein's troll. Never put anyone in a timeout before. Good. This Eggstein stuff is a yoke around our necks. Oh my lord. Yes, she does. Nancy sounds like a motherfucker. Indeed, she does. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I was only thinking that would last about an hour, but in the end of the day, it lasted a bit longer. Truth Bomb is going to be really interesting. So let me tell you quickly. There's been 8 episodes of Truth Bomb so far, 16 people involved. There are 2 main events linked up coming up in the next couple of weeks. So that'll be 10 episodes. That gives us 20 main independent expert competitors in their field. These are people who know the most about things in their categories. They are the ones who can go out there and answer, do quite well answering, say, 2.5 hours of questions. These guys know their biscuits, but we don't want them on their own. We want to get normal people too, normal everyday people who think that they can take on the experts. And for that, they need to go to a Truth Bomb qualifier round. So I will be doing shorter Truth Bombs. These will be hour-long Truth Bombs. Some of them will be live between 2 people who consider themselves just amateurs, just people who know a lot about stuff, people who really enjoy this will, but aren't presenting a podcast or aren't writing for a site or don't own a website or anything like that. Well, what I will be doing is I will be looking for people to go in against each other. They will battle each other at Truth Bomb in an hour episodes, and then they will go through to a wild card round. The winner will go through and they will face someone who's already been on the program, a proper independent, one of the victors of the previous main event Truth Bombs. They will go against a wild card. They won't know who they're going against, but that's how you get in. If you want to go for a qualifier, apply. Come to Newspace. There's a form at the bottom. DM me on X. Anything like this, you can go and you can compete against someone else who's outside the independent media, or someone who's got a small platform or something like this, compete to go in against a wild card, and then if they win the wild card round, they go through to a main event. And this is a way that we will have shorter and more spicy Truth Bombs as well. We will be able to have live truth bombs. So those will allow for basically the qualifiers and the wildcard rounds will be between an hour and an hour and a half. The main events will be about 2.5 hours long. I can't believe I just lost the whole screen disappeared at the same time. Very close to losing everything there. So if you want to be on there, get in touch with me. Can't wait to have a chance to break up what is a load of echo chambers on the independent media. It's one of the main reasons I wanted to do Truth Bomb. I wanted to make sure that all of the echo chambers get destroyed. All of them get crossed over. All of them get mixed. I want to take the power out of the hands of the people who control echo chambers at the top, the people Nancy Weinstein loved to push. I want to let those people have a chance to cross over and meet other people from other echo chambers or other areas of the internet where they're stuck in areas of independent journalism, cross them over, mix them in, and break echo chambers. That's what it should all be about. We should all be communicating, and we should be taking power away from the people who control the gatekeepers. I'm talking about people like when I was talking earlier, and I was talking about Ian Carroll, Nick Bryant, Ryan Dawson. These guys, they've got a job to do. Their job is to control and keep this echo chamber guarded. Make sure no information like the information that I'll give in articles, etc., get through the gate. I report on the fact Elon Musk and Epstein had a relationship. 6 months later, Ian Carroll, who's supposed to be one of the best objective journalists around, and hasn't even mentioned the article out loud. So it is clearly a sign for me that when you've got the biggest story about Epstein and the biggest research in the Epstein case doesn't mention it, you go, I don't think he's actually a researcher for the Epstein case. I think he gets given all of his stuff. I think he's a shell, and I think he's a gatekeeper. If that's the case, then let's take away their gates. Let's take away their power. Let's mix everybody over. Let's get everybody talking. I'll give DC and Joel a message later. I see all your love. I thank you for all your love. You guys are brilliant. You give me so much support. You make me so happy. Really appreciate this. Really fun. I'm going to do some more of this. The next one coming up for the Epstein, we're going to look at the Bear Club. The Harvard Bear Club. That's going to be a really fun and interesting one as well. We're slowly, what I'm gonna do is start researching things that no one else has tackled about these cases with you guys directly. We're gonna research together. I want to do this. I want to make sure that it's us doing it. We're the ones who should be looking at everything objectively, discussing it, having a conversation about it, and not listening to the guys who are controlling people like us. Love you all. You guys are just amazing. And that's it. I'm out. Goodbye.